Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with the latest update here from InfoWeather, and you can see mandatory evacuations from the coast all the way. I think that's like West Palm Beach, all the way north to the North Carolina, South Carolina border. All coastal areas are under mandatory evacuation, certain zones in certain counties, but regardless, the governor's ordered evacuations in Georgia and South Carolina along their coast, and then they did it county by county here in Florida. Now, we do have a Category 4 Hurricane Dorian now rather than Category 5, but you can see it started to stall out. Cat 4 conditions possible as it heads towards Florida, might make landfall here, then become Category 3, move its way back up the coast, might make landfall anywhere South Carolina to North Carolina as a Cat 1 or 2. We'll see exactly what happens with that. So those are our latest evacuation orders. Let's take a look at the watches and warnings. Hurricane warning now extended northward. Same with the storm surge watch and hurricane watch, as of course those will be big concerns heading into the next few days. They can only issue it so far ahead of time. So that's just what it is right now, but let's take a look. The storm surge watch extends further north. So let's take a look here at the storm surge. I took off the forecast positions, not the watches. And you can see 4 to 7 feet of storm surge possible, basically for the whole warning area. Same deal here with rainfall. A large portion of rain, a large amount of rain is expected to fall, especially on those areas being affected by Dorian. Same deal, worst case winds, major hurricane possible here along the Space Coast, and then other than that, hurricane force winds are a potential along the whole entire coast. Tropical storm force winds possible everywhere from Miami up to Norfolk. One of the rare times you'll ever see that on a map, but yet it is the case. Latest European ensembles have stayed about the same, but some of these models that were out here moved inward, much tighter envelope of guidance. It does expand here. It's actually interesting over here at like day 2.5. The envelope is wider than at day 4. So that's interesting, but what can we do? Same deal here from the American model. Much tighter guidance envelope, but it does expand down here. So with that being said, the Hurricane Center has moved the cone slightly towards shore. Excuse me. I think that's mainly just to keep Florida in the cone. But Florida definitely has a landfalling possibility, as well as clearly North and South Carolina do as well. So something to keep an eye on. Here you look at the latest rainfall graphic from the Weather Prediction Center. Significant rain expected all the way up the coast. As we've alluded to earlier, I just woke up. I'm sorry, guys. Very slow moving. It moves from here to here in the next 24 hours, then moves up the coast. I'm liking more of this red line forecast right here, so that's more in line with what my idea is. And then it zooms off up here, becomes post-tropical somewhere around here. You head over here to the intensity forecast, same deal as we've been saying the past few days. Slow loss of energy as it becomes a bit weaker, as would tend to happen when the storm stalls out. You can see those black tops that we had earlier are all now gone. That's likely because the storm is weakening, which it is. You can also see it. I'm going to trace the path with my cursor. The storm went like this, and you can see now that it's taking a bit of a northward turn. So stay tuned for that northward turn in its fullness, because that will determine the later parts of the system. We have another aircraft en route. They did an upper level mission on it earlier, and that's all I got. So no fancy pictures this morning, or this afternoon, basically, at this point. Storm surge expected, as we've noted, all the way up the coast. Blue is 1 foot, yellow is 1 to 3, orange is 3 to 6. And you can definitely see some oranges throughout this area here. Flash flooding potential from the Weather Prediction Center as well, mainly down here in South Carolina along the coast. Yellow, of course, for the whole entire coast, and then green as well. This is only the next 3 days, so I would expect this to move northward and increase in color as well. Latest HWRF model rockets this storm northward, which is interesting. And as we've been saying, farther north, the farther east, farther south, farther west. And this can be shown because it's not making landfall. And then it comes up here, acts like it's going to make landfall with Georgia. This is still probably a Cat 2 hurricane. And then makes landfall in South Carolina, kind of like Matthew did. And then again, continues riding the coastline, probably becomes a high-end Cat 1 by the time it exits. But you can see that the structure of the storm here is significantly weaker than the structure of the storm back here. So that's one of the good things. The structure drastically weakens post wherever the landfall... I keep on doing that. Post wherever the landfall is, you can see it makes landfall and the structure turns crazy. But you can also see this is a small and compact cyclone. It takes up maybe half of the height of the screen, and then and it doesn't go off the screen. Now this one, it goes off the screen and it takes up the whole entire screen. So you can see it expands its wind fields, its rain reach. The storm surge will expand with that. So stay tuned for more information. I'll have more information as I get it. Stay safe.